In this video we're going to take a look at a feature on the Home tab called Styles. Styles takes up a big chunk here, especially when you're in 1080 resolution. And all a style is a collection of formatting attributes that have been given a name. So the style that I'm using right now and the default style in Word 2010 is surprisingly something called the Word 2010 style. And we've got some other ones here. I guess it does not do a live preview for us. But we won't worry about that. Let's take a look at some of these. There's a heading 1 style. This does a live preview. If you pause the mouse over any of these style buttons up here and just give it a second or so. So I'm going to go up here to the stave 1. And I'm going to pause over the heading 1 style, and apparently that is kind of a bold dark blue that is left aligned. Heading 2 is a little bit smaller, a slightly lighter shade of blue. Heading 3 is a little bit smaller. Heading 4 is in the same size italics. Heading 5 is a different font. Title is huge letters with a blue line underneath. And let's go in here and let's just set stave 1 to heading 1, and let's set Marley's Ghost to heading 2. Okay. And if I scroll through here a ways now, I may find a few other parts of my document that I want to assign a style to. Here's Marley's Ghost. I want that to be heading 2 again. See if there are any more here. And then I get to stave 2. That's basically a chapter, and I want that to be heading 1, and then the stuff underneath it that's not quite as important, I want to be heading 2. Okay. And if you're doing a large document, styles are really handy. If you're doing a smaller document, they probably don't matter quite so much because it's easy to go in and change. But let's say that I've got a large document, and actually let's do this. Let's do a Control F here and look for the word stave, and there's the next occurrence of the word stave, and I want that to be heading 1, and I want this to be heading 2, and let's find the next occurrence of stave. There's stave 4, and I'm going to make that heading 1, and the line underneath it's going to be heading 2, and let's go to the next one, and that's stave 5, and I'll make that heading 1. I'm going to make this heading 2. And I think 5 is all that there are in here, so we've pretty much done the whole thing. Now, if I decide later on, let's go back up here to stave 1. We should be getting pretty close to it here. So if I decide later on that I really don't like the way that looks, I think maybe it ought to be bigger in relation to heading 2 or something like that. It's easy to change it, and all I have to do is go up here and change the style, and when I do, everything that's formatted as heading 1 will also get reformatted using that new style. And to demonstrate that, I'm going to go down here in the bottom part, and I'm going to skip down to stave 2 down here in the bottom part of our document. Okay. Oops, that's not stave 2 yet. That's still Marley's Ghost. So here we go. Okay. So stave 1 looks like this, and then the subheading within the chapter looks like this. That's heading 2. Heading 1, heading 2. The reason they're spaced a little different is because there's just a little graphic in between here. And if I get rid of that, the spacing is the same. So let's say that I don't like the way stave 1 looks. Well, just go up here and right click on heading 1, and we're going to modify it. So it also tells you how many items have been formatted as stave 1. And I'm going to modify it. And let's say I think 14 is too small. I think it ought to be like 18. And let's say instead of dark blue, I think it ought to be purple instead. And it's already bold. And let's see if there's anything else I want to do. Let's say I want it to be underlined as well. And what I've done now is I've just changed what it means to be heading 1. Now if I click on OK, and I go back and look at my document, stave 1 is automatically updated. That was a heading 1. Stave 2 is automatically updated because that was also a heading 1. And notice when you're on a particular style, the style will get a little gold box around it up here on the top, so you can determine which style it is that you're using. Here's heading 2. Let's say I want to modify heading 2, so let's right click on that and modify. And for heading 2, let's say I think they ought to be this kind of dark red, and we'll just leave it at that. Click on OK, and now everything that was formatted as heading 2 is now formatted in this dark red color. And you're not limited, let me right click here and go to modify. You're not limited to just the things here. If you look down here, there's a format button, and you can change the font characteristics of a style. You can change the paragraph characteristics of a style. That should look familiar. You can change the tab stops for a style. You can change the border for a style, anything. And you go down here and you select what it is that you want to change, and that becomes a part of that style until you change it to something else. This is really handy if you've got a large document and you think that when you get done you may want to go back and do some editing. If you use styles, basically all you have to do is change the formatting once and everything automatically gets updated. So especially when you're working with large documents, think about using styles to control the appearance of your document. One other thing we can do here too, we can go to under change styles. We can also change the colors, and I'm not going to get this purple's probably not going to be changed here. Let me go back and modify that, and let's go back to what did we have before? We had dark blue, and I think it might have been 14. Click on OK. And this one was also a different color. Let's go back here and do change styles. Actually, let's try another style set. Let's try let's try fancy. That one's pretty obvious. And if I apply that, it does a live preview. Notice I only did a live preview on the top part, but once I select it, it works for everything. And you can also change the colors. We've got a whole palette of colors here, and this does do a live preview, and it's only going to do it on the top part again. But as I kind of scroll my way through these colors here, you can get a preview of the changes. And the idea here is that Microsoft has selected colors that complement each other and should make your document look pretty good. If you don't like the default colors that they've got quite a few of them though. If you don't find one in here, you got to kind of picky, I think. You can actually go and create your own new theme colors, but we're not going to take a look at that. And the other thing here is you can change fonts. And if I go to here and watch what happens, the fonts change as I go through my document. And they've got quite a few of these as well. So with a couple of clicks of the mouse up here in on your styles button, or over here on your predefined styles, you can quickly change the look of your entire document, provided you set it up using styles in the first place.